Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the SharpSHOOTers. As always, we're your hosts, Danny and Juice. How you doing tonight, Juice?
Is me. Is me. Is Juice Box Hero. I'm here, baby.
Oh, Juice Box
Oh,
Hero.
and I'm feeling ready to talk about some wrestling and make some predictions for Dynasty.
Oh, we have a full plate on. I don't even know what I'm saying. A full list for tonight for Last Point Standing. A lot happened in WWE that we actually are excited to talk about. Dynamite, I think, was really good last night. Collision, definitely better than last week's two separate 1 hour craps that they did. So, very excited to talk about wrestling this week. So, let's get right into it with our Last Point Standing. If you've never been here before, before we do our Last Point Standing, we just got a subscription.
Oh my God.
Keverlast, thank you for subscribing again. Keverlast was our guest host when Juice was out because he's been such a valued subscriber. So thank you, Keverlast, for continuing that. We really do appreciate. A little bit of housekeeping. Thank you to Accept the Wind for being our official band of the podcast. So you hear them before and after the show and during our breaks. And if you want to follow what Keverlast just did, we could really use some subs. If you could see below, we're at 4 out of 10. If you have Amazon Prime, it's free for you. Helps us out. So we'd really appreciate the instructions I just put up in the chat again, auto chat. So please help us out. That would be greatly, greatly appreciated. If you've never been here before, Thursdays are our Last Point Standing where we talk about the week in wrestling between AEW and WWE. We start off with AEW, which is led by Juice. So, Juice, start us off. What you got?
Before we start off, my turn for some plugs just to get in my end of the.
I always forget that plug, which is wild.
No, it's okay. Well, this is the other new one. Just to let everybody know, if you are a fan of Accept the Wind, our lovely sponsors here on the show, official band of the show, they will be playing next Saturday, April 12th at 7:30 p.m. at Freda at 801 Seneca Avenue in Queens, New York. So if you are in the Queens area or nearby, definitely head over to Freda at 801 Seneca Avenue, and they will be playing live. It's $12 in advance to buy tickets, $15 at the door. Sure, they'd love to see you, and let them know the SharpSHOOTers sent you. And
right.
also one more. The mailbag. I'm gonna type in the 801 Seneca Avenue. That's what I said, right? Yeah. Thank you. Okay. No, somebody wrote it in chat. I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, Falverton wrote in. I could think just help us out. Thank you, Falverton.
Yeah. No, of course. 801 Seneca Avenue. That is in Queens. And also, I am typing currently for us to pin to the chat the SharpSHOOTers1 at yahoo.com. That is our mailbag. We have a mailbag active and open. If you have any wrestling related or non-wrestling related questions that you want to ask us or one of us, anything in the world, seriously, it could be movies, sports, anything that'd be fun. We don't want to get too serious on here with all the stuff that sucks in the world.
Are we getting enough to almost do a segment? Because I'm getting excited about it.
Yeah. Let me check. I mean, so far, I'll do a quick count here, not to take up too much time. I am looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 questions, and I do know somebody else that wants to submit. So we got questions.
Yeah, but I think that could be coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, by all means, though, the more the merrier. Please, we'd love to make it a weekly segment where we answer one question a week. But if it does seem like, I'd put a number on it. I don't really want to, but let's say like a month from now, we're not really getting anything else. We'll probably just do it as a one-off and call it there. But I'd love to keep the questions coming.
Cool.
So please send them in. TheSharpSHOOTers1 at yahoo.com. It is pinned there in the chat. Anytime you can email us, any hour of the night. All right. So let's get started here. Let me bring up my notes, my thingies I want to talk about. First off, Toni Storm and Megan Bayne. I loved the segment from Collision where she just kind of like laid out with the spotlight on her, like contemplating and reminiscing and where she went wrong and getting beat up and attacked and all this stuff. So I really got a kick out of that. I loved the angle, the camera coming down, her getting close up, and then Penelope Ford just giving her the big boot right in the face because we couldn't see Penelope Ford coming.
Not
She
at
just
all.
came right into frame. This is very unique, and that's the kind of stuff you want and need in wrestling, where it doesn't feel like the same old camera angles and camera work and lighting and a lot of the crap that happens all the time.
I,
So I really love that segment with Tony Storm. I know how you're going to feel about Megan Bain. Which I know you, from the sounds of what you gave last week, doesn't sound like you really got what you wanted this week out of the Megan Bain and Tony Storm, in terms of how Megan Bain was presented. I'm still a fan of it. I'm being won over, and maybe I'm being won over because now I'm being swayed more the other way that I don't think Megan's going to win. Um, just with
so
everything kind of we'll talk about in a little bit, but I'll leave it with you. I'm excited for what the match can be, but it's funny. I feel like they've gotten better with presenting Megan Bain, but now I'm less believing of her winning. What do you think?
100%. What's funny? First off, with the spotlight thing, I enjoy how the spotlight for Tony is being used against her multiple times now. First with Megan Bain, now with oh my God, you just said her name. I can't remember her name.
Rhea May, you mean, and Penelope Ford, all them.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, you and Megan Bain, when Megan Bain attacked her a few weeks ago during the spotlight and stuff. So I like how they're using that against her. What I said last week was I do like Megan Bain. I just don't think she'll win if I don't hear her on the mic. And I stick with that. I love what they're doing with it. I think she's going to be a really good star, but until she can go on the mic, I don't think they're going to give her the world championship. Maybe the TBS if this was a feud, but not the world yet. But I do think the match is going to be great. I think they've really set up this feud really well, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see if she does win and swerve. I'm good with it. Then I'm going to want to see what that first promo sounds like.
Yeah. I just keep thinking of All In and the Owen now, and playing into this, and if you really start a Megan Bain reign now in mid-April, you want to do something dominant. It's only going to be a 3-month dominant reign. Assuming she'd lose at All In, she could lose it All In. I mean, she could win it All In. But I'm not sure. I don't know yet. I'm still thinking about it. But yeah, I think the story's been good. It's been
I do like it, and I think it's another strong woman's storyline. Tony Storm's been really doing it well with that, so I'm liking what they're doing.
Yeah. Next up, the newest hire to AEW, coming out of relatively nowhere for most fans, Kevin Knight, who, if you're not familiar with him, came up through the New Japan Dojo. From there, he had a brief cup of coffee, I believe, with TNA, doing a little bit of matches. Didn't really work out. He left. WWE made him an offer to come and work out at the PC for a tryout, and he turned it down. And AEW just immediately gave him a full contract and fought Jay White, and then we'll get to it in a little bit, but because of circumstances now, Kevin Knight is in the Owen, and he's fighting Will Ospreay at the pay-per-view. So what are your thoughts on Kevin Knight? Were you familiar with him at all prior to this, and how'd you feel he did?
No, I never saw him prior to this, and I really liked the 2 matches that he was in. I see why they signed him, and I think it's smart that they just gave him the full contract. Obviously, just like a lot of New Japan guys, I think he has to just hone the mic skills a little bit, but that's just going to come with more practice stuff. I also haven't really heard him on the mic, so I can't even say that without.
I was going to say he hasn't really talked.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like when they did the interview on Wednesday between them, that was more like her telling them or whatever. So I want to hear him on the mic and stuff. But he seems like he's got a lot of charisma and a lot of and I love his moveset. So I'm really excited to see what he does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he seemed sharp in the ring.
Exactly.
He seemed like someone. I hate to use the word finished, but he seemed like a finished, ready product. Like someone that's not really learning anymore, kind of. You know what I mean?
Someone that doesn't need to go up the performance center. You mean?
Well, yeah, but yeah. He basically seems like he knows what he's doing in the ring. There's confidence there, fleshed out kind of persona and appearance behind him. So he knows who he is, kind of deal.
Exactly.
So yeah, so I liked it. I'm intrigued. And I'm looking forward to it. And I think they're going to keep him as a baby face. I don't think he's going to turn heel or anything. And hopefully he sticks around on TV and doesn't not show up for a while or something.
That's what I'm nervous about. That it's like a quick hey, this is our new product, and then because of storylines, we forgot about him for a little bit. I hope they don't do that.
So moving on. Overall, I did like Collision. I didn't have much to say about it, which doesn't mean it was bad,
Hmm.
but I liked the show. It was very solid. Everything was good on it. The only thing I did want to dive into a little bit, I wanted to give a little bit of shit. Technically speaking, to Cole and Garcia 3,
Hmm.
and more so the process they went about announcing the match.
Okay.
I don't know if you caught this or remember this, but they announced as Cole and Garcia were coming out to the ring, they announced a graphic, and the announcer said it that Cole versus Garcia was happening at
Oh,
Dynasty.
they do that all the
No,
time.
no time limit, no interference. Fine, cool. But then, if you recall the segment, Cole and Garcia start like heating up the segment and building to them setting up, okay, fine then. Let's do this one more time.
Hmm.
No time limit, no outside interference at Dynasty. So like they were acting like we didn't know the match was a thing yet.
Hmm.
So I don't know if it was a matter of the production truck messed up, they didn't tell Cole and Garcia, but it just annoyed me when it's like we knew the match was happening and they're going out there acting like the match isn't booked yet and they're setting up getting the match booked, if that makes sense.
No, that makes
Um,
100% sense, and I think that
so that,
I
that annoyed me. I was like, come on, like whatever.
I think
But
that's like on production. I think that has to be on production. Like the segment
yeah,
hasn't even happened yet. How are you
I
announce?
agree.
Like they have to know that this is kind of some kind of build up. They have to know there's some kind of promo afterward. There has been an announced match, a match announced yet. So
Hmm.
I once I saw that I was like, oh man, production messed up real bad. Once I heard them
Yeah,
talking, I was like, wait, I knew this was happening already. What happened?
yeah. Um, I mean, listen, I'm glad the match is happening on Dynasty. They
Yes,
deserve it. They've
we
earned
talked
it.
about that.
I'm relieved they didn't throw this on a Collision or some BS.
Mm-hmm.
So good for them. They've earned it, and I'm really looking forward to that match. It's probably the biggest match I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Wow, that's
Um,
saying something. There's a lot of good matches on the card this weekend.
yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, when I
moving
was
on
when I was
now.
putting it all together, I was like title
Oh, yeah.
match, title match, title match, crazy.
Yeah. So moving on to Dynamite, the Tornado Mixed Tag. We had Willow Nightingale teaming up with Swerve against John Moxley and Marina Shafir. Um, I loved it. I'm a big proponent and fan of the men and the women wrestling each other,
Mm-hmm.
doing moves to each other, not being afraid to like do that stuff with each other. Like I get less is more. Don't do it all the time to make it impactful, but like I always hate it when like the women's wrestlers cower to the men's wrestlers or the women's wrestlers can get hits in and the men can't.
Yeah.
It's not for fun TV. It's not for exciting dynamic and it's lazy. It's not that's not lazy. I don't want to use that word, but I get why people are being protective of it and there's a lot of people out there that don't like it. Um I personally don't care. I think it's great. Wrestling's wrestling. They're entertainers. So I wanted to get your thoughts on that first. But in terms of everything, I love the match. I love that everyone doing Swerve hitting the finisher, smiling after hitting her. Willow putting Mox with the table. Mox hitting Willow with the his finishing
Good
his
DDT.
finishing
Yeah.
move. I loved it all. I want to see what you thought of that
No,
match.
I thought it was dope. I am so accustomed to what you were saying before, where men fight men, women
Mhm.
fight women. That the second the first hit happened, I was like, yes, like finally, let's get some more of this.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say is I feel bad for Swerve, man, because his partner just gave him like a double powerbomb suplex. Didn't even look out for him. That was awful.
Oh, well, no, she was breaking up the submission. She was doing him a favor.
No, that when they're on the top, he got suplexes. She
Oh,
powerbombed
oh,
both of
oh.
them.
I'm thinking of a different
Didn't even
spot.
look out for her partner,
Um,
bro.
I'm thinking of a different spot. Yeah, yeah. Oh well.
No, Swerve had a rough night though.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Will we? Oh, yeah, that is later, I guess.
I technically, we don't really
Yeah, well,
have.
it's no, it's next. You're right. It's because it was after this match.
Let's get right into it. Good transition.
Yeah, let's go into the main event. We had Cope versus Claudio. I love the match.
Hmm.
I see some people weren't crazy about it. I think they're out of their mind. I mean, it was good stuff. It's
What
Cope and
what were
Claudio
the
giving
complaints
you.
out of curiosity?
Some people feel like Claudio's phoning it in. They're just hating on Cope because he's older. And not they don't he doesn't do the AEW stuff that like listen, they're not all Will Ospreay. Like they
Yeah,
wrestle a different
like
style.
100%. The only thing I will say
They
really
recently,
quick is I'm liking Cope's spear less and less the more he does it. It just doesn't look. It doesn't look as impactful. Like it looks like it's very procedurally well, but impactfully, I just don't see like the actual spear hit. And I kind of noticed it last night.
yeah, that's fair. It's just I guess getting older, it's
Mm-hmm.
different, hitting things a different way
Yeah, I
or less
agree.
impact. But yeah, I enjoyed the match. I thought it was a nice, fun match. I remember when I saw the graphic, I was hyped.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it delivered. Was it a pay-per-view quality? No, but for a TV main event,
And
it did
that's
its job. It
okay.
was good.
Exactly.
And then post-match, we have the Death Riders going backstage and attacking Swerve. Interestingly, though, Swerve seemed like he was getting in a fight with Nana
Mm-hmm.
beforehand, and Nana walked off.
Yep.
Excuse me. They beat the hell out of Swerve. They get Swerve into the ring. They throw a bunch of glass on the ring. They put
Well,
Swerve.
before that, they also put Swerve through the glass table in the back. Don't forget that either.
Yeah, back. Of course, they put him through the glass table. Wheeler Yuta picked up the ball, the glass with a bucket, and then they brought him out to the ring and they put Swerve through the glass. Swerve gets up with all the glass on his back. It was cool. Listen, the pieces of glass weren't going to be actually in his back, but like they probably shouldn't have shown it as many times as they did because it was just like sticking to him.
I know it looked
And
bad.
maybe I'm a maybe what's the word, masochist, and like to me it meant nothing. Like to me, I was like, whatever. It's just sweat. It's sticking to him. But yeah, still cool
I
moment.
wouldn't.
You know, for Swerve to get up.
The problem is like I wouldn't mind it sticking to him if there was at least like some blood because like it's glass, so there should
Yeah,
be some blood. Sorry.
real glass.
But so a few things that I thought about. First off, it's very annoying to me that no one helped out Swerve when Cope just had the match. Claudio stayed out there. Cope can't turn around. We knew FTR was in the building supposedly. I know they did like a pre-tape thing. Glass isn't sharp, says Killer Tomato. I know they did a pre-tape thing, but like no one can come help him out. It just seemed a little ridiculous to me. The backstage segment though with him and Paige was very interesting too because now that's giving Paige more of a babyface turn because now he's gonna let go of this hatred towards Swerve because Swerve kind of owned up to his shit. So like now you start seeing that seed, and I really like that also.
Yeah. So two quick retorts to that, and then we can move on. Um, I did think about that, but obviously FTR both have their shit and they're split. Who knows if they even were still in the building
Yeah,
or
exactly.
whatever. And then Copeland, they can always use the story of, oh, I was backstage. I didn't even know anything was going on anymore. I was recovering or coming down from the match. I was getting checked out by medical,
Yeah.
anything. Listen, I'm just saying,
No, no,
like
no.
that's
I
the
know, I know.
yeah. I get what you're saying. No, I thought the same thing. Like, where is everybody? But it's wrestling. And then my last thing, yeah, the Page Swerve thing was huge. Um, for him, like admitting fault and being like, "I
Yep,
know, I deserved it,"
yep.
and you can see Page was like shaking to his
Stunned.
core. He
I
like
know.
was completely floored.
Did you also notice the one security guard who they just threw a shirt on, the glasses, the fat guy that like, what are you doing? Oh my god, these security guards are getting worse and worse, bro. This is terrible.
So I don't know their names, but apparently him and the guy standing next to him are like a very well known and loved independent tag team, like on the indies.
Jesus Christ.
I don't know their name, but apparently like a bunch of people were marking out for them last night
That's so
being on
funny.
TV. So yeah, I don't know. I got nothing on that front. But
Crazy.
I'm really intrigued how that Swerve Page thing plays into Dynasty and the Owen Cup, which we'll get to in a little bit.
And
My
I
last
kind of have a prediction for that when we get to the Owen Cup. Continue.
sure. My last point, before we get into the bigger points, we'll probably go over time just because they're very extensive.
Oh, of course.
Um,
Can you
all
hold
in,
on 1 second? Let me fix the bell
sure.
really quick because I know the bell scares poor little Killer Tomato. There we
Ding,
go.
ding, ding.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so AEW announced an all-in week in Texas this July, essentially finding their WrestleMania week
Mm-hmm.
finally. Um, they are going to be doing a live Dynamite on Wednesday, a live Collision on Thursday, Death Before Dishonor from Ring of Honor on Friday, and then on Saturday, AEW All In starting at 3 p.m. local time for us. And there's also going to be like a Starcast convention going on the Friday, Saturday as well. So very interesting. Overall, I like it, but what do you think about them copying the Mania Week thing? Are you a fan of the direction this could be going, of them doing it? Do you think they should have not done something like it, or is it just a no-brainer to do something like this?
I mean, they're not doing nearly as many days. If they were doing the full week, I can argue like WWE pretty much at this point does the full week between NXT, SmackDown, Raw. You can add another show in there, so they have a full week. These guys have 4 days. They added one extra show if you really think about it. Collision, you can argue that they put the pay-per-view on Sunday, Collision, so it would have been Saturday. So, like, they just changed around Collision, and I think it's really smart, they did for the same thing for WrestleMania weekend. Yeah, I hear you. I'm just trying to distract them from me.
I choked on water. My bad.
I think it was smart that they changed the Collision from the WrestleMania weekend also, because you don't want to compete with WrestleMania, so I thought that was smart. And it makes sense to do it again. So I don't think it was I don't think they're really copying them. I think they were just like, it's a no-brainer. We're going to have our big event. We're going to have the 2 shows. ROH is what we always do. Let's add a big show for ROH and, let's go. Again, if they do the whole week, then we can argue, all right, maybe you're doing a little too much because now you're stretching out, what you have. But right now they're doing pretty much what they would do on a normal pay-per-view week, except added one show and changed the day.
Yeah, well, I think it's the Starcast thing is what sticks out.
Yeah,
and usually they don't. Usually they haven't done this in a while, where they've promoted a week. Like when they were first doing this, it was all right, the Dynamite before Chicago is going to be in Chicago.
Yeah,
and I remember when we did World's End, we were like, oh, they're going to do Collision, there too, and they just didn't do it. So they've gotten away from it. So I think them bringing it back is what makes it feel different. But overall, I like it. I have no problem with it. I think I love it. It makes them feel bigger, and I hope the show's a success.
Agreed.
All right. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm going to keep powering through
now
here.
Now that you're alive.
Are any of us? Okay. First up, we're going to go with the Women's Owen Cup.
Let's go.
I don't have the graphic up to put up on the screen, but I have the brackets written here.
Oh, I should have. My bad. I should have had them ready. I didn't think about it.
Oh, don't feel bad at all. It's whatever. So the brackets for the Women's Owen, for anyone that has not seen it, we have Jamie Hayter facing off against Billy Starks, and Thunder Rosa facing off against Chris Statlander on one side. On the other side, we have Julia Hart versus Mercedes Moné, which is happening this Sunday. And we have Harley Cameron versus Athena. Now, I love this bracket. I think it's great. I think they have all-star power in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the right 8. The right 8 women are in the match. I can't really think of anybody that's egregiously left out that should be in there.
Britt Baker.
But she's not on TV.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah. Anybody that's been on. That's not funny. Anybody that's been on TV. So I love the bracket. And before I make my guesses and before you make yours, what do you think of the bracket as a whole? What are your thoughts?
So I like the bracket a lot. I think these are 8 strong women that have really, with the exception of Athena, because she hasn't been on AEW TV, and technically Billy Starks also, but we know a lot more about Billy. I think this is a great field. I think this is a very indicative field of where they are right now with the women's division, and I like it. Obviously, Willow Nightingale could have been added there, but she's in her own feud right now. That's the only thing that I would have maybe added, because I know she's she's been in it before. She's a defending one. So that might have been the only one. And the other thing I'd say really is, and I'm sure you have the insider scoop because you're Juice, but I don't like that the men's have a wild card and the women's don't. They should kind of be even with that, where either they both have it or they both don't. But I'm sure you're going to fill me in when we go to the Men's Owen Cup next, so I'll wait for the details.
Yeah. Honestly, but going beyond that, again, as we're going to go over all these next 3 points.
We know.
There's a lot to talk about. So personally, first glance looking at it, I think the finals is going to be Mercedes Moné on one side and either Jamie Hayter or Stat on the other side. I think it's gonna be Jamie Hayter, and
I do too.
I think Hayter's gonna beat Mercedes.
I don't. I think
Um,
Mercedes is going to beat Hayter.
it's just I'm having a hard time seeing Mercedes winning all of this and getting the title shot with all the belts,
She's
but
going
I
to
won't
be
mind it.
5 belts Monet.
I'm not gonna mind it at all.
Um,
But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about it, how it goes. But
and what I will say about your prediction is that if they do go that way, what I hope would happen was that would be the start of her downfall with all 4 belts. Like she loses the big finals, and then like she gets in her own head. That starts the downfall, and then once she loses that last belt, here we go on the way to the world title, and like the boss, the CEO.
yeah,
But we'll see.
yeah, because and then I think about like Thunder Rosa, and it's like she's got the Texas angle, so you think Thunder Rosa could go far, but I don't know, man. Listen, I love Thunder Rosa. I mean, I don't know how much you know about it, but I think she's got to get off Busted Open, doing the show with Bully and all them,
Yeah, I think that's
because
hindering her.
I think I do. I mean, she's on there every week. Like apparently, I didn't see this. I don't watch the show, but apparently somebody posted that she was on Busted Open today, talking about Rhea Ripley and her storyline, and not talking about AEW and
Yeah,
her being
and and
and it's like
and,
how like how do
but
you
she does
allow
that
this?
often. She does that often
No,
where
I know.
because it's Bully's podcast, she lets Bully dictate it, and then like you should be there at least speaking up a little bit. Like if he doesn't watch you, then stop going on the podcast. But I know I
Yeah,
agree with you.
I'd get her off the show because I
What
love her and I don't want her to leave, but I feel like she's probably gonna end up leaving.
I think she's going to WWE too, because Bully's in her ear, bro. Bully's in her ear. But what I will say also is I do like and they kind of told us this last week a little bit with Athena going in. I do like how they don't have Athena and Mercedes on opposite sides. You get that semifinal match over with, and that's not the focus of the finals. So I appreciate that as well. I think that's a good storyline move.
Thank you for bringing that up. That was gonna be my last point before we moved on.
Nice, we're in sync.
I yeah, I don't know how I'm clearly breaking one of my rules here on the show.
Okay,
For those of you that do not know, I made a rule months ago that I was never going to talk about any
that's
Ring of Honor
fair.
champion
Yes.
that was on AEW TV ever again. And I'm going to break the rule tonight and maybe the next few weeks, depending on how the storyline goes. But yeah, I thought they were going to do. My first thought was Mercedes versus Athena on May 2nd, when they're doing Supercard of Honor at Atlantic City. But I thought about it further, and they're probably going to do it at Spring Breakthrough because that's in Boston and it's earlier.
Yeah.
So and especially because Mercedes is already qualifying here, they're not going to make her wait like a month.
Exactly. Yeah, because they're going to probably get through the next 3 matches on Dynamite, and then Mercedes' next big match will be at the next big show.
So that's why I was thinking they're going to have Mercedes beat Athena, and then that's going to set up Mercedes Athena 2 at Supercard of Honor because Mercedes beat Athena. Then Athena's going to beat Mercedes there, I would hope or think, unless Mercedes beats her for the title there, and then she has 5, then goes for 6. You know what? That's probably what they're going to do. I have to change my pick. I'm probably going to go with Mercedes now.
6-belt Mercedes, let's go.
Yeah, they're probably going to give it to her. But
this is why Juice doesn't talk about Ring of Honor, because now look what happened to Juice.
I get worked up. Trust me, I have a lot more to say, but I'm gonna leave it at that. I do think I love Mercedes and Harley teaming up on Collision this weekend. I love the Mercedes puppet came back. From Harley.
It's the best. It was the best. Just seeing that, and then Mercedes plays into it so well. That I mean, I love her on the mic. She's so charismatic, but the way she just gives in, and you just see the anger from it. It's so good. It's so much fun.
Yeah, and okay, so one thing to get off my chest is that I know they're not going to do what they're going to let me down, but with Ring of Honor having a pay-per-view on May 2nd and July 11th, that's 2 pay-per-views very close to each other in the next like 3 or 4 months. It's the most they've had in a long time that close. I'm really expecting them to up their game these next few months, and if they don't, honestly, after AEW All In, if they don't up their game, I might just stop watching weekly Ring of Honor.
Oh,
I still watch. I still watch it, but I skip a lot because it's a lot of bullshit like squashes.
Yeah.
But yeah, if they can't up their game these next 3-4 months, there's no point.
All right.
So Jay DeFalco says it'll be like Osprey versus Ricochet, a quick tease of the feud. And why won't Shop AEW take my money and make the puppet?
Bro, I'll buy the puppet.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll come in one of the crates. When's our next crate?
I was about to say our next crate's coming in like a few weeks too. By the way,
Oh, let's go. All right,
um,
let's get to the men's cup.
moving on now, men's cup. I'm gonna let you go first.
You're gonna let
Before I
me
go,
go first. All right.
yeah.
So
What are your? Do you want me to read off the field, or do you want to just give your thoughts?
no, I'll just give my thoughts. I think I actually had the field right here. If you give me one, actually read it off for the audience, and I'll pull it up just so I can visually see it.
Sure. Jay DeFalco, what's April 12th? Is that the? I forget what
Oh,
we were
the
saying.
crate probably.
Oh, the crate. Yeah. So the men's field, for those that do not know, you have Will Ospreay and Kevin Knight. You have Brody King and Konosuke Takeshita, Mark Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher, and Hangman Adam Page versus a wild card.
Okay, so I got a few notes. My first
You go.
one is and the first and second are almost going to counteract each other a little bit, but that's okay. My first one is I do like that they're doing Briscoe versus Fletcher 3, just because they have like a little mini rivalry going on. So I enjoyed it a little bit, but I am getting a little tired of seeing the same people in the tournaments and the Continental Classic and stuff, like Brody King, Mark Briscoe, Fletcher, Osprey. Like, we just saw them in the Continental Classic. We got to mix it up a little bit. You have a lot of men's talent, and I know the story you're trying to set up, so I'm okay with the big names in there. Leave Osprey, leave Hangman, but then switch up the rest of the field. As much as I'd like seeing Kyle and Briscoe doesn't need to be in there. Brody doesn't need to be in there. Kevin Knight, I'm fine with, and the wild card, depending on what the wild card is, I'll probably be fine with. But yeah, It looks like the Continental Classic to me, and I'm not as excited as I am about the women's one.
Yeah, that's very fair. I do not like the field. I feel the same way, and I probably would have thought of it eventually. My brother hit me up right away and said like the same thing as you with the Continental Classic, how 6 of the 8 are from the Classic. And one of those that's not as the wild card, which very well could end up being from the Classic.
Right.
Yeah, I don't like the field. Listen, now apparently Jay White is really hurt. It's a legit injury.
Okay, cool. Because that didn't make sense for a storyline purpose that he got taken out today and they already called him out for the entire Continental Classic.
That's the word. At first I thought storyline, but yeah, apparently he's really hurt. And then I don't know if he was meant to be in it, but another person that was apparently really hurt. If you did not know this, I'm sorry to break the news to you.
Oh no, Jay DeFalco just broke the news. Oh no.
There it is. Orange Cassidy also legit hurt.
This is the worst day of my life today.
Again, I don't know if he was meant to be in the Owen, so we can't really count him. But I will say, like, I agree with you. The field is weak. I don't get why, like, two people that came to mind immediately that should have been in this: Powerhouse Hobbs and Nick Wayne.
Oh, Nick Wayne, that's a good one. I didn't think about Nick Wayne.
Would have been so good to put in here
for sure.
I'm gonna do what you couldn't do, like, and also I'm gonna argue the field should be 16 for both. I always love a bigger tournament, and a tournament, if you're going to do it one time a year for the Owen, it should be 16.
Yeah.
I don't like 8. Listen, I like
especially because it's single elimination. It's not like a round robin. You don't have to keep going. It's a single elimination tournament. You can get through that easily.
I like an 8-person field more than a 4. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, of course.
But I'm pretty sure they did 16 the very first year too of the Owen, so there's precedent there.
I'm gonna say a big reason they don't do 16 is because I don't know if the women would have 16 like believable ones.
Yeah, but also where the hell is Okada?
That's your call. Yeah.
Yeah. But otherwise, though, yeah, I don't mind Ospreay, Kevin being in there. The problem is I look at this field and like I feel like it's going to be Ospreay versus Page.
100%.
I don't see like.
Who the hell's a wild card going to be that's going to upset him? You're not going to have Ospreay versus Fletcher again. You're not going to have Konosuke or Brody get to like it doesn't make any sense.
So the last thing.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No.
Last thing I was going to talk about was the wild card. Do you want to say anything else first?
I was gonna do the prediction. So talk about the wild card, then we'll talk about our predictions.
For the Owen or for Dynasty?
For the Owen.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I basically already said it. My prediction is Ospreay versus Page, And then I think it really comes down to I think who wins Swerve and Mox. I'm going with Osprey right now, but if Swerve wins, it's probably going to be Page.
So
Um,
what I think is the same thing, Hangman versus Osprey. And once again, I'm the opposite of you, where I think this is going to be Hangman's because I think, and this is me wishful thinking also, kind of putting both together. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm hoping that Hangman is the original that unseats Moxley, like I've been trying to say for this storyline. They're doing this whole babyface turn. I think getting over Swerve was the final hump for Hangman to like let go of the demons and really become a babyface now. I think Swerve is going to lose to Moxley, and Hangman's going to come out and make the save that night because they're going to try to do some crazy shit on Swerve again, and Hangman's going to be who won the Owen, come out, save Swerve, and that builds up finally an AEW original that takes out Moxley. That's what I'm hoping for, and I kind of could see it with the storyline being told.
the only reason I wouldn't like it is just because ideally for me, it's not more so about an original anymore, but like a new champion, not
That's
someone
totally
that's won it
fair.
before. That's my only caveat with what you said. Otherwise, I
With
like
that,
it.
I've always said from the beginning, I would have loved it for it to be Darby or OC. So since it's almost clearly not going to be one of them at this point,
Yeah.
I think it's got to be Hangman.
Yep. All right. Last thing, wild card.
Yes. What's the wild? What do you think the wild? Or do you know any rumors? You know me. I'm not
No,
big on the
no,
rumor mill.
no. I have no rumors.
All
My
right. So
two guesses.
predictions.
My two guesses. Well, there's three guesses. The stupid, funny one is that it'll be Max Caster.
That would be hilarious.
I don't think they do that.
That would be terrible, but
Um,
hilarious. Number 2.
The next one, is kind of like the straightforward answer. I don't think they're going to do it, but Josh Alexander is rumored to be coming, and that's the one I've heard people speculating. But that's just like people; it's nothing news wise.
Gotcha.
I don't think you put Josh Alexander in there at this point against Page to lose his opening match. So I don't think it's him. My last one leads to kind of a big theory. I think if I had to pick, Jack Perry.
Yeah. Where's he been?
I think the Elite come back and are the ones that screw Swerve in some way and cost Swerve or something. And I think that's what happens. It comes to the Death Riders and the Elite against Swerve and Page in some way, and like
Interesting.
that whole thing. So I think it's going to be Perry.
Jay DeFalco says Danielson is a wild card. Mind blown.
It could be Darby. Who knows? I don't know what day he's leaving, but I doubt it's him. But hey, could be Darby. But
What? I said Danielson.
no, I know.
Oh.
I'm answering Darby.
Darby
as well.
too?
Like,
Okay. It could be anybody. It's a wild
Yeah, like
card.
mind blown wild cards. Yeah, I don't think either. I don't think it's either of those two though.
Nah,
Also,
I am the wild card.
I did have another guess, but I can't stick with it anymore because I changed my predictions. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, okay.
All right, I'm ready to move on when you are.
Next up, we got Dynasty predictions. So, for this one, for anyone who hasn't seen us with our new layout for predictions, I have a whole overlay of the predictions. I'm going to just put over our faces so you guys can see what we pick. And we'll just keep going back and forth between the predictions and us so you guys can see what happens. So, here's our first look at the predictions. What do you mean?
No.
Oh, hold on. I got to get rid of. There we go. Okay.
Oh hi.
So,
Oh hi.
we want to start from the top. The first one I think is nice and easy. We talked about it, and we're back. We have both picked John Moxley. Any more you want to talk about that Moxley match, or do you just want to move on?
Oh, we're no,
Yeah, I was waiting for you to notice that. It's great. That was
right.
funny for me.
I wasn't paying attention to anything you said, but
Do you want to talk any more about the Moxley prediction, or are you good with that one?
yeah, no, okay, no. Juice will not be Mike Wazowski.
Oh Jesus!
No, yeah, no. I feel like it's gonna be Mox. I mean, everyone's gonna get so mad about it. Everyone wants Swerve to win it. I wouldn't hate it, but it's kind of like Paige, where it's like he already did it. At least this one would
Yeah.
make more sense because it's like on the year and a dynasty. But yeah, I don't know. I won't
Agreed.
hate it. Swerve wins. I won't.
Agreed.
But
Next up, we
yeah.
had Tony and Megan Bain. Any more we want to talk about Tony or Megan Bain?
No, I think we covered it. I think Tony's going to retain at the moment, unless they do something on Collision.
I
Apparently,
got him
Collision's
on my
pre-taped
side.
again.
I got him on my
Collision's
side.
pre-taped this week. I don't know if anything groundbreaking is going to happen anymore with those two.
I mean, I'm
yeah,
usually if anything groundbreaking happens, we do see the news. I haven't seen anything yet, so
Yeah.
I guess that's good news, but we'll find out. Kenny Omega, we both picked over Ricochet and Mike Bailey. I'm just gonna speak a little bit. I think that's kind of a no-brainer. He just won the belt. Nice, easy way for probably Mike Bailey not to get the pin. Ricochet gets the pin, and that might start a little feud between those two. Who knows? But yeah, I think it's just a kind of easy no-brainer pick for that one.
Yeah, for a split second, I considered Ricochet pinning Bailey to win it
That'd be
from
cool.
Omega, but I do think they're gonna. I think they're on the collision course with Omega and Okada at
Yeah.
All In. So yeah, I don't.
Which
think
is
he's
another
losing it.
reason why they might not have Okada in the Owen Cup because of that showdown with Omega. You could still
Yeah.
get him eliminated or something. I don't know, but it is
Yeah.
what it is. Next up, trios belt. We both have the Death Riders retaining over rated FTR. I think with the storyline they're kind of showing with FTR right now, the fact that rated FTR isn't like a real trio long term, I think that it's kind of easy that they're not going to win the belts.
Yeah, they're going to cost themselves, and also I think they already set it up where the ops are going to be there watching, and
Yeah.
they didn't specify this match, but clearly I would think it's going to be this match.
I'm hoping the
so
ops are the ones that kind of take it off them. Just like
Please.
someone has to, and I don't think it's going to be FTR, obviously,
Please.
but someone has to.
please,
Next
please,
up,
please.
we have, I don't know if you want to talk about it, I'll talk about it, but we have Bandito versus Chris Jericho in a title versus mask match. You have Chris Jericho retaining and costing Bandito the mask. I have Bandito not losing his mask and winning the belt. I just think it's time for Jericho to get the belt off him and like let RH move on. He's not really doing much with the belt on AEW TV anyway. The Learning Tree is doing a lot without him. So like he's doing a lot more like pre-tape segments and stuff. So I'm hoping him getting the belt off. Plus, I don't like when they take mask off luchadors and unless it's like significant. And I don't think this is significant enough yet for Bandito to lose his mask.
A few things. First off, Brian Keith is going to the Hurt Syndicate. You heard it here first. And because the Learning Tree's breaking up. It's
100%. 100%.
Any week now, hopefully. So I'm not confident in this pick at all, only because of one big reason: this match isn't official yet. Despite what Wikipedia says, the match is not official. It was not shown.
Oh, so
last
that
night
means it was on the pre-tape Collision.
No. So they asked Tony Khan today on the Dynasty Media Scrum call if the match is happening on Dynasty. And pretty much he said, oh, the match is not official yet for a reason. Bandito has not accepted yet. We'll see if something happens on Collision, but it's not announced yet for a reason. So I almost wonder if they push it. I almost wonder if they push it to like a month from now, and they just do it at again Atlantic City, Death Before Dishonor, not Supercard of Honor.
Gotcha. Okay.
So we'll see. I'm not sure what's going to even happen with that match yet. They might even strip the stipulation away.
Yeah.
Which would change my pick.
Yeah, me too. Oh,
we'll see.
Maybe that would change my pick. I'm not sure.
We'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
Next up, and the only other match that we don't agree on, TNT title match: Danny Garcia versus Adam Cole. I have Cole. You have Garcia. I'll let you go first this time.
Yeah, so originally I had Cole, but because my original pick for a wild card was going to be Danny Garcia, getting in there against Paige. I flipped it for one important reason, is purely because on tomorrow, Adam Cole is running a 12-hour Twitch stream of himself online playing video games. And in my mind, that is not a focused man. He's not ready to go get the TNT title this Sunday against Danny.
That is how the man focuses.
Get it done.
That's crazy. All right.
You want a taste?
I like that. That sounded really good.
Thank you.
That sounded pretty good.
Yeah, no, I do think at the moment, I'm going with Garcia because I think
He's
Garcia.
playing for 12 hours.
So,
You heard it here, Kevin. Last 12
so
hours.
it's his 1,000th stream, and he's going to be playing like a variety of games. And he said he's playing games he hasn't like whatever games are in his cycle that he's doing right now are not going to be included on the stream. So
That's
for
dope.
12 hours, he's going to be doing a bunch of stuff, different stuff. So
That's awesome.
like I don't think he's watched the Nintendo Direct yet. So he's going to watch that for his first time. But either way, that's a distracted man. He's not ready.
I disagree. I think if anything, you just cemented my pick because that's a man who's going to be so on cloud nine after this huge accomplishment that he's gonna ride that wave, baby, and make another huge accomplishment and win that TNT championship from poor little baby Garcia.
We'll see. I mean, FTR are best tag team all time. Look at them in the ring now. All right.
All right. Next up.
So we'll see.
Next up, and I think this is a no-brainer. You kind of discussed it before when we were talking about Jericho and Bandito, but Hurt Syndicate we both have over the Learning Tree. Do you think the Learning Tree breaks up this weekend?
No.
Okay. But this is going to be one of the things that costs them for the breakup. I agree. I don't think Hurt Syndicate. Sure. I just hope Shelton Benjamin makes it. If you didn't hear on the show, he's having some issues because of the tornadoes and stuff. So hopefully he makes it and everything's okay. But if he's there, Hurt Syndicate all the way.
Well, I saw somebody say that they might do like a MJF substitute in for Shelton kind of thing.
I was thinking that. I really was because
backlog exists for all. Yeah.
Because as much as I think it was legit for Shelton Benjamin, I think they use that as a good swerve and a pivot for the storyline, and that if he doesn't make it or he gets hurt, that because it's going to be too annoying or too obvious if MJF helps him win the match by cheating. So I'm hoping that's what happens. I'm with you on that. Okay, next one. We both have Ospreay over Kevin Knight in the first round of the Men's Owen Cup. We talked about that before pretty much. And we also both have, Mercedes Moné over Julia Hart. That one we didn't talk about as much, first round matchup. So what do you think about Moné? Go ahead.
Would you mind leaving the graphic up for the rest of the way? Just for our viewers to see and for us to see as we talk here. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, nothing really to talk about, though. I think Mercedes is going to win.
They can't hear you on the mic. The mic sounds bad. Go back.
Can't hear me on the mic, Mercedes! All right, so I'm sorry. Mercedes Moné is going to win. I would have considered some sort of... Actually, you forgot to yell. Julia Hart. I promise I didn't see that before. Julia.
Oh, God. Anyway.
I would have considered Athena or someone messing with Mercedes, but on Dynasty, I don't think they're going to do it. So Mercedes will win here.
Yeah.
And just overall, I have to say, like, maybe just because how amazing Revolution looked as a card, this is going to be a good show, but this doesn't really jump out to me as AEW's best.
So when I was making the card today, and I was like, oh man, this is a loaded card. This is a loaded card because of how many title matches they have and like how many like matches have implications. But no, once I just looked at it more right now, and I agree with you, the matches themselves are gonna be good matches, but like almost a very predictable card, which is unlike AEW. And yeah, just no match besides Garcia and Cole. Really no match that I'm just like over the moon, like, oh my God, I can't believe we're about to see this weekend. I'm excited for a lot of the matches. I'm excited to see what they do with Moxley and Swerve. I'm excited to see what they do with Tony and Megan Bayne. And even the trios match. Like, I am excited for the matches, but none of them, besides Cole and Garcia, am I like, oh, I cannot wait to like sit down, tune everyone out, and like watch this match.
Listen, I mean, I'm gonna watch it. It's gonna be a great show. But just after Revolution having that 3 months of build, you're like, holy shit. This one feels a little different because it feels like it's just them getting stuff ready for Double or Nothing, for All In, which is fine. But
help us out a little bit.
We'll see how this goes next week. All right, that was a lot of AEW talk.
That was so much AEW. Let me get last
a lot going on
back up. We are
See,
8 minutes over. That's how crazy that was.
it's the Owens. The Owens, man.
And we knew this happened. We had the Owens. We had the Owens, and we had predictions to talk about. So there was a lot to talk about tonight for AEW.
Right.
We do have a lot to talk about WWE, but it will be a little bit shorter because the points will be quicker. So we're going to take a quick break. Please stay with us. Give us a little sub if you can. We're at 5 out of 10, which is great. We haven't been there in a while. Let's get higher.
You want to give it a shuppy sub?
I put in the audio chat how you use your Discord. Stick with us. We'll be right back. Juice is losing it. Hello and welcome back, everyone. Hope you guys were able to submit some questions to the mailbag. Hopefully you guys are able to figure out how to give us a sub. But we are back to talk about WWE.
Boo.
No, not boo this week. It wasn't a bad week in WWE, if you don't really count SmackDown. But before we talk about rude. Before we talk about SmackDown, there is a small little thing we gotta talk about, and that is WWE re-signed, depending on your thoughts, a big name. Rusev Day is coming back to the WWE. How do we feel about this, Juice?
Predictable and a joke. Listen, I'm not a Rusev fan at all. I made that very clear. I gave him a chance in AEW. I really did.
I know.
I've given most people a chance. There's very few I haven't. I've come over that I don't like, but yeah, whatever, man. He sucked in AEW. He's gonna go there and suck even more. It's whatever. I find it very interesting, by the way, that everyone that's left AEW so far in the last year, or at least this year, WWE has signed them.
Yeah.
Every single person.
Yeah. Jade Falcon said, I mentioned it before, dude faked a divorce to get out of AEW contract to go back to WWE. That's wild.
It's whatever. Honestly, I have no feelings towards it because he sucks and he's not going to go anywhere.
I was just say they're not going to push him. It's not. It's going to be one of those things where they bring him back for a month run or whatever. He gets a little nostalgia run and then they push him to the wayside. Look what they did with Andrade. He's doing great right now, right? Great job.
Also,
Andrade.
not to go too deep down this rabbit hole. There's too much talent right now to a point where like I legit think especially what WWE's done with TNA and what AEW's done with Ring of Honor, we need a third big wrestling company.
Yeah.
In America. Like again, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, but like I was thinking about this last week or two. Like it's too many talents. No one's getting love. We need a third company because no one can go to TNA anymore. No one can go to Ring of Honor anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They're
under because they're
umbrella.
little like developments of the other companies now. It sucks.
Yeah, it's really sad.
And New Japan isn't like a third company in the United States. That's the problem. So like that's not a really
Yeah.
And plus they're already established also. So it's not like you're going to go there with like all these names to push them there. So no, I agree with you.
You're still under an AEW thumb, and even though there is a New Japan Strong, which is the American division, they only do like a show like every 3 months, 2 months.
All right. So going on to SmackDown, there's not a lot to talk about on SmackDown, but there were 2 or 3 big points. First one, SmackDown opening. How do we feel about that? We had another John Cena, Cody Rhodes run-of-the-mill thing. Cody Rhodes didn't even talk for like 10 minutes as he was letting the audience just sing his name and stuff. So like the first 10 minutes were literally them being quiet. What's up? Am I thinking of the wrong thing?
Unless I'm misremembering, was it really SmackDown? I thought SmackDown opened with Orton, Cody. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, didn't they all? Was that Orton and Cody? No, I thought that was Cena, Cody, Orton, and McIntyre. No, Cena. You're right. No Cena.
Cena's
My
only
apologies.
that's why I got confused. Cena's only been on
My
Raws.
apologies. Sorry. So it was Cody not talking for 10 minutes, Orton coming out, Drew doing my apologies. Conflated them all. How do we feel about that? Which also set up to a Drew Orton match later on in the night.
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Like, I watched it for the sake of scoring, but that SmackDown was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
God awful. I don't even remember most of it. Like,
Hey,
I know
man,
Orton.
I confused him with Cena, so shows how much I
know
remember.
Orton was basically like, "Oh, I'm coming for you," which sets up because again, Backlash is in St. Louis, so of course Orton's going to be facing Cody or Cena now at Backlash. That's confirmed more or less. Yeah. Otherwise, like, I mean, listen, I liked Drew and Randy because like they're two older kind of guys that know what they're doing out there. Outside of that match, like the show was terrible.
Yeah.
So I have nothing good to say about SmackDown. If you want to say anything else.
No, I mean, I just want to get your gauge on the opening. I thought the opening was kind of boring. As much as I love, I get the audience interaction. 10 minutes is a little extreme to like you. Yeah. They definitely lost a match or something in that time. That wasn't supposed to be 10 extra minutes. So like, it's just a little annoying when they don't keep in mind your other wrestlers and the other talent on the show. Jimmy Uso having a big week. We talked about it on Tuesday because of the fantasy scoring. But Jimmy Uso, and I'm just going to mix Raw and SmackDown for Uso just because it's easier. But last week being, the mystery partner, then on SmackDown getting a nice win, and then this past Raw going one-on-one with Walter. We'll talk about that in a little bit with the Walter destruction. But do you think they're pushing Jimmy for anything? That's why I brought this one up. Do you think they're pushing Jimmy for anything for WrestleMania, or is this pretty much like his glorified little run and WrestleMania he doesn't get on the card?
If you asked me this before Raw, I mean, I think I even told you after SmackDown that I thought they were putting him in the U.S. title match.
Mm-hmm.
After Raw, I'd be insulted if he was on Mania. Like,
gotcha.
He should be off.
He should be off TV.
He should be off TV until after Mania. Or at the very latest,
until Mania.
Until after the match, if Jay wins. Like, if Jay wins, Jimmy can come out to celebrate. But even then, I almost wouldn't do it. I wouldn't have Jimmy on TV until after Mania if it was me.
Interesting.
To put over what Walter did and to make Jay feel alone.
I 100% agree. And in reality, that would make Jay's win a little bit better. So I do hope so, but we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But I do agree. I don't think Jimmy's going to be on WrestleMania or anywhere near the road to WrestleMania anytime soon. And then concluding a pretty boring SmackDown, as we've said, was the contract signing between Punk, Rollins, and Reigns, where, I mean, I want to get your thoughts. I'll say 2 quick points that I had about it was, I understand Punk tearing up. I understand Punk being emotional about it. I still don't believe it's the WrestleMania main event, unfortunately. I know everyone's argued with it, and, you know, we got to kind of give into the WrestleMania folklore now, but, like, it's night 1, not night 2. I'm sorry. And then him making sure that he knows it's not the favor is very big and very important. So what do you think about those two, about the entire segment, really?
Yeah, so I've already told you a few weeks ago. I mean, at this point, it is what it is. It is a main event. Despite how we may stubbornly feel, it's just not worth it. It is a WrestleMania main event. I'm happy for Punk. I do think this segment was way too short. They definitely rushed at the end to get something done. I think we didn't get whatever was supposed to be the end.
Oh, maybe because of the 10 minutes.
Yeah. Happy for Punk. Love that it's still not the favor because it keeps the intrigue going. I did see something, someone posted an old video of Punk and Heyman that intrigued me. I don't know if this would be what the favor is because it doesn't feel like it'd be that impactful. Someone speculated that the favor would just be Paul being in Punk's corner for the match, like coming out with Punk and not Roman.
Yeah, I think it would have to be more than that. I think if it's going to be something at WrestleMania, he would have to cost Punk cost Roman the match and like go with Punk. I could see that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. The only other thing I could think of, and it gets a little wonky with the booking, which is why I don't think Triple H is going to do it. So I don't buy this, but I'd love it. Is that it's like the match is a backdoor number 1 contenders match, and Roman and Rollins don't know it, and that gives Punk the right to cash in or take a match,
call his shot, kind of thing,
to close out night 2 and beat Cody to the belt instead of like Cody beats Cena, but then Punk comes out and beats Cody, leaves everybody stunned with Paul Heyman. Again, that
would be wild.
I know it's Punk, and I'm being crazy with it. I'm just trying to really think outside the box of what the favor could be, and that's a WrestleMania main event, getting the title. That's a big deal. I think that would piss off Rollins and Roman to not know they were in a number 1 contenders match. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know what the favor could be.
This is kind of like, I think, my Hangman storyline for AEW, personally. But if that were to happen, like what you're hoping is what I'm hoping with the Hangman thing.
Oh,
that's what I mean.
I was like, what? How?
Yeah, not similar storylines. But if that happened, that would definitely salvage the WrestleMania weekend for me. Not even a question.
Yeah, and I just knowing how Triple H books, I don't think that's the way they go. I think that'd be sick though.
Jay DeFalco put some stuff. Only tank he'll be riding into Mania will be Shotzi's. And how important is a WrestleMania main event when each night has 2-3 main events? So
that's whatever at this point.
Agree.
Honestly, opening and closing is like a main event at this point for them.
Yes.
So, all right, let's
exactly.
move on.
All right. Speaking of opening, great wording. We had the Raw opening where we finally saw some physical contact between Cody Rhodes and John Cena, and it looked pathetic in my opinion. The clothesline swing wasn't even believable. And I never understood. I don't understand why Cena wouldn't at least fight a little bit. He didn't get hit. He got like held in the maneuver. At least swing your arms or something. He just dead fished it. It was so strange. It looked like that's what we've been waiting for. It kind of was very anticlimactic. Cena looked very slow moving. I agree, Harley. Like he looked like he was like running through the motion.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to put out there, anybody watching or listening in, if we should say this more often. If there's ever anything not in our bullet points that you really want to talk about, throw it in chat. We will divert and talk.
Yeah, or we'll add it at the end like we've done before, and we'll spend some time on it for sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to. We don't say it as much, but yeah, figure I thought it out there. Yeah, that opening segment. Listen, it was the best of the last 3 that they've done because they finally heated up and it wasn't about the fans.
Yeah, promo wise and everything, I agree with that.
I will still stand by. I'm tired of the insider terms and shots being used to heat things up.
Mm-hmm.
It's the nature of the business now. Like to be bringing up Vince McMahon and like Tony Khan stuff. I'm like, just no, come on, get over it. Like
Agreed.
let's talk about you two and your shit, not Vince and fucking Tony, whatever. So that was whatever though. Otherwise, I did like the segment overall. I think it finally heated things up, but it heated things up just in time for Cena to go away now for 2 weeks. So now it's just going to be Cody talking to Cody, and at least they did bring up The Rock.
Yeah, right. Finally,
and Cena did kind of give an answer as to his why. So again, they pieced some stuff together finally, but like I did show you, I think I sent you the picture. I love that scene is like, oh, the reason I did it is because the sight of you holding that belt disgusted me. And it's like, bro, you came out last year at Mania
and held him up
to help him win it. You gave fucking Roman and Solo AAs. Like you helped Cody win that shit.
So stupid.
What the fuck you talking about? So
doesn't make sense. All right. We had a surprise tag team come back. And I don't know how I felt about it because, like, it was a very big swerve for Pete. Hold on. I have a feeling Rock makes an appearance before Mania since Cena won't be around. You got to hope so. Something's got to add to the storyline for Cody. But, yeah, New Day on their road to challenge for the Tag Team Championships. Their first match was against the New Catch Republic with a returning Tyler Bates teaming up with Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne, as always, didn't look too excited. There was at one point in the match where Tyler Bates went to like go give him a fist bump or something, and Pete Dunne just completely ignored him and was like looking at the crowd and stuff. And Tyler's like, "Okay," and then just like walked away from him. But what'd you think? I mean, I thought the match was good. I was surprised that they came back. I'd rather Mustache Mountain, but what'd you think?
Yeah, no, it was good. I was happy to see them back. I liked them both a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they were going to win for a second there, but then they didn't, and that was unfortunate. But I'm curious, of course. Now the big thing is, where do you go from here? How do you use them from here? Are they going to be on Mania? Are you going to do a multi-man, or are you just going to do a straight up tag match? Because listen, I know you joked about it early on, but like you have to admit, this New Day heel turn's a flop.
Yeah.
It's a dud. Like they've done nothing.
They haven't capitalized on it.
Them winning the belts at Mania is like 3 months too late from whenever they did this. I can't even remember when they did it.
I 100% agree with you. I think the biggest problem was that I'm assuming it was Judgment Day because I don't think Viking Raiders had it yet. I think the biggest problem is when they did the heel turn, Judgment Day was still the champions. So, like,
I don't think so.
No, it wasn't Viking Raiders at that point.
I'm pretty sure they've had them the whole time.
Okay, so if that's the case, then they should have been with against Viking Raiders from the beginning. Like
somebody in chat fact check that. Look up when New Day turned. Look up when New Day turned, and look up when War Piggies had the tag team titles. Pretty sure it was.
I agree with Jay DeFalco. They're not imposing enough, and they're not whiny enough. They're just like kind of there. Again, the match is good. What I'm more confused about. It was a fine match. What I'm more confused about though is the Pete Dunne aspect, because a few weeks ago Pete Dunne was like in the Intercontinental title scene a little bit with Penta and Kaiser and all that, and like that just now he's just out of that completely. It looks like with the tag team coming back. So that took me more by surprise, that like he went from being a part of that Penta feud to just kind of dropping it now and being in this tag team.
I'm fine with it just because it gives Dunne a better direction. Let's see.
We're both right.
2nd. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So there was like a 2-week period.
Yeah, that's the same. Okay. You're right, but I was right.
Yeah. They could have beaten them
for sure
quickly.
Exactly. Like
way.
But then the problem there though is that they had just won the belt, so you're gonna have them. And yes, actually, the answer is yes. You do have them lose right away because that really impacts the heel turn. Yeah. No, the answer is yes. Yeah. Great job, WWE, you fucks.
Well done, chat. Thank you for checking that.
Beautiful. All right. Let's get to one of the two things I really want to talk about. Walter, and I'm using Walter because I know you're hyped about what happened this past Monday, and that was real Walter-like, destroyed Jimmy Uso. For any of you who didn't see it, one-on-one match, pretty much destroyed him the match. After the match was over, was attacking him. Jay comes out for the save. It looks like they go to commercial, so it looks like the whole thing's over. Come back from commercial. Walter attacks the both of them, handcuffs Jay to the ropes, and destroys his brother in front of him. At one point, I think, licks his blood, spits it out. It was gruesome. I loved every second of it. I need to hear your feelings.
I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I have no notes in a negative manner. I thought it was great. One thing I did love in particular, unless I just missed commentary saying it, but I love that they didn't say it. There was a moment where Jimmy was towards the end, where Jimmy was all bloody and fucked up. Jay's all zip tied to the thing, and he's like looking at Jimmy and like reaching his hand out to like touch his head. And at least I took it in that moment. What they were going for was like Jay looking into the future and what his life could be like in a few weeks against Walter. Kind of like seeing like, oh my God, this could be me. This is what I'm about to go through. And I really liked that moment a lot. So I thought they all did a good job. There was no stupid heat, crowd stuff, all that. It was raw emotion.
100%.
It played on the heartstrings. The blood absolutely helped.
Yes.
Elevate all of it. And
like he was covered in his blood after that. Covered.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it, and it made me as excited as I'm probably going to get to see the match now. But yeah. I feel like they're pouring so hard onto Jay. It's hard to see him not win here, but we'll see.
So before Monday, I was still on the train that Gunther was going to retain it. I don't see how Jay doesn't win after you've literally destroyed his brother. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's still 2 weeks left. He can get his shine back.
I guess, but I mean, that would be crazy. But no, I mean, Harley, I am going to disagree a little bit that who would cut off the zip tie, because the referees and stuff, they never get involved until after everything's over because they don't want to get hurt or hit or whatever. And there's no one really besides Jimmy that's on Jay's side, like actively. I guess you could argue American Alpha, but they're not going to get out and get involved in this situation right now. So, like, there's no one really to go out there and cut the zip tie off for Jay to, like, make the save.
Well, they were also all tending to Jimmy. He was the one getting attacked. Bro,
yeah,
I thought they were going to do that. I thought Walter was going to come back and just destroy Cole.
Because
Cole was ripping on him. Cole was ripping on him.
Yeah, but McAfee's also the one who rips on it. Like, he also, like, if he was to destroy one of them, it would have been McAfee.
Well, yeah, no. In that instance, though, McAfee and Wade were like, yo, chill. And Cole's
That's
like,
fair.
nah, fuck that.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Cole was going off. And he's like, he's right there.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
All
segment,
right.
well
Yeah, I agree. Great segment. And then our last segment of the night was the Women's World Title match between Rhea Ripley and Io Sky defending champion, with Bianca Belair as a special guest referee, who one of the better looking special guest referee outfits, I must say. Give her credit for that.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
But
yo.
The match ended with a double DQ because they both pretty much like attacked Bianca or hit Bianca at separate times, and Bianca, I think rightfully so, called a double DQ. And then got attacked after the match by Rhea. What did we feel about this? I mean, I think this was the only way to make sure you get that triple threat. If you had let one win over the other, then that would have kind of cemented the 1v1 match. So this is how you get to the triple threat. What do we think?
So I want to say before we even dive into this Raw in general was very frustrating in that it was so good that it's like, why can't you do this every week? I'm
right?
serious.
No, it's true.
Because like it was a good Raw.
It was.
I enjoyed myself. Like, and I get it's not hard to do it, but like you look what AEW can do. You can put out such a better product weekly, and you just don't. And that's where I go nuts.
And just to be clear, and I don't know if you're on the same page as me when I say this, because I'm hearing what you're saying. And it's not the storyline. It's not like, for me at least, it's more the in-ring action. I don't feel like they give us enough in-ring action and enough good in-ring action. Like,
it's all of it.
Okay.
Yeah, for me at least, it's the format, the production behind it, the segments, like the tapes, all of it, man. They can do such a different, revamped, tighter show.
That's fair.
It pays off weekly. Like, what was it? Like Luke Freebird wrote to us the other day. Oh man, I really love this Judgment Day teasing breakup story that they've been doing. I like they haven't done it so quick and they're really drawing it out. I'm like, bro, you've been watching for like 2 months. This has been going on for 2 years.
Yeah, I was gonna say this has been going on since last year's WrestleMania.
That's what's annoying. It's like pull your triggers. Don't do these like cycles for like a year. All right. Well, we totally got off topic. Jay says the whole Raw Women's title story is very similar to Mania 35. Rhea's acting very Charlotte Flair, in my opinion. Yeah, it's true. Rhea's still acting like a child. It's Rhea's like, where was Bianca to count to 3? Yo, you kicked her out of the ring. You're
right?
an idiot. Like you did it.
You did.
I liked Bianca's face when she rang the bell and she got all like, I don't know if you noticed it, all like Popeye the Sailor Man. She was like,
I'm done with it. Like, I'm over this. Let's go.
She got all there.
That was so funny.
Walking around like that. I thought it was hysterical.
Yeah, that was really good.
It made me laugh. Match was fine. Not great scoring wise for the fantasy people, but
and so what's funny about that, and I thought I was being slick. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought it was gonna end like a double DQ or a double count out or something. So that's why I didn't pick Rhea or Io, because I didn't think either one would have any significant win. I figured if anything were going to happen, Bianca would be getting fed up and hit her finisher on at least one of them. So that's why I was like, if I pick Bianca, I'll probably get more finishers out of Bianca than the other two. I really should have picked Rhea, because Rhea hit like I think the most points out of all of them. But that was my mentality for it.
Because again, Bianca didn't count as participating in a match.
Yeah, exactly.
She only got 1 point for appearing.
Yeah.
So that's why, Bianca really wasn't the play there. Even with finishers, you're better off going with Io and Rhea. Either way, Harley writes, does Liv leave Dom when they break up? Judgment Day, or does she follow Finn?
I think she goes her own way.
I think it ends up. I think the end game here is Dom's going to be a huge babyface coming out of this.
Babyface?
Yes. I think all of this is going to lead to the fans turning on Liv, and they're going to be so behind Dom. Dom's going to come out of this a huge babyface. I'd even say by SummerSlam, the crowd's going to be going nuts for him. That's my take.
Interesting. Once again, for like the third or fourth time tonight, I'm on a completely opposite end of the spectrum as you, where I think this is leading to like major heel Dom. I think he's taking over Judgment Day, or he's doing his own version of it. I think this leads to a Finn face turn eventually, because like, that's what I think it leads to. I don't think Dom's a face until like maybe next year. Like I think Dom rides his heel run for a long time. Everyone loves heel Dom right now.
Under Triple H, yeah. I'm just saying, I think eventually when the breakup between Liv and Dom happens, Dom's coming out as the baby. I don't think Liv does at all.
Oh, okay. That's fair. That I do agree with.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
That I do agree with, but I do think Liv and Dom stay together for a while, do this whole new like heel power couple thing. Like I think they're going to be, because like Liv and Dom don't look like they have too much like disagreements between the both of them. It seems pretty united against Finn. So yeah, I think they're just going to kind of have like a new Judgment Day with Dom as the leader. Carlito's going to be the sidekick because he's still in love with Raquel. Raquel's obviously Liv's sidekick. And then whatever new person they get in, that's going to be the interesting thing, is who's going to be the new person. And when JD comes back, does JD go with Finn or does he go with Dom? Like,
he probably, we'll see.
That'll be interesting too.
Yeah, well, because if I recall our Crystal Ball episode, I think I had Dominic Mysterio winning Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
I kind of got to get behind Dom here doing something.
Well, I think a major heel Dom would be a significant front runner for Money in the Bank.
We'll see.
You never know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for sticking with us tonight. Hope you guys had a great time. We had a little extra long episode, but we had a lot to talk about with the Owens Cup, a good Raw, predictions for Dynasty, just a lot to talk about tonight. We hope you guys enjoyed Dynasty this weekend. I know we will, or I hope we will. And next week on Tuesday will be our usual anything goes, some kind of game night or some kind of, random night. And then next week, Thursday, we'll talk about our predictions and everything that happens. What's up, Juice?
I did have our Tuesday planned out if you wanted to hear it.
Go ahead.
At least the main segment, not the whole show.
Yes, sir.
So we are going to be booking the worst WrestleMania of all time.
Let's go.
We are going to be putting together. You can either do a one night or 2 night. We can decide on that off call.
Oh, 2 night.
All right, we'll do.
We need a 2-night main event, right? Because that's a new thing now.
Yeah. So we're gonna do 2-night worst WrestleMania of all time. We're gonna pick 14 matches, and the same people cannot be in different matches.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be very interesting.
Because so we gotta pick like the worst. Well, we gotta pick the worst openers, the worst title matches. Oh man, the worst overall. Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. I can't wait for this.
Have fun. Mania season, worst WrestleMania of all time.
See you guys on Tuesday. Don't miss this one.